back to Veneer Creations Tutorials. This week we're going to be making this moon and star crystal suncatcher. The kit for this suncatcher will be linked down below and it will have all the materials that you need to make this suncatcher. The only thing you might need will be scissors and a ruler. Firstly, I'm going to get my two hoops, the smaller one and the larger one, and then my meter of my thin wire in gold. Then I'm going to get my two hoops, and I'm going to put where the hoops have kind of been welded together there, I'm going to start there. And then, please excuse my fingernails, I've been dyeing macrame black and it has dyed my fingernails a little bit, so that's what that is. So next we're going to get the wire and we're going to wrap it around the two hoops very closely. So get your hoops close together like that, and then get your wire and then just wrap very closely together. So I'll try and do this a bit closer. Just keep wrapping and I'll tell you how many times I've wrapped it at the end. Just going to make it as secure as we can so that these two pieces, these two hoops are very securely attached together. A little bit tangled. If it gets tangled, don't worry, it will come untangled. Just keep wrapping. Right, so I've wrapped it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 times I've wrapped it. So I've wrapped it very closely, very tightly. You can see I can still kind of move this, but it's very secure. Now we're going to take what we have left. I'm just going to wind this up because it's just much easier to use when it's kind of wound up like that. Now I'm going to start kind of like zigzag wrapping the rest of it together, so I'll show you how we do that. So kind of like a zigzag. I'm wrapping round both of them. Be careful not to tangle. Kind of creates like a sun shape. Oh, don't do it too close. You wanna, the gaps kind of get bigger as you go around to the wider part of the and then as you get closer to this part, do your zigzags a bit tighter. So it should start to look like that. Don't worry, if you feel like you've done it wrong, there's no reason why you can't unwind it and start again. But it is quite a simple shape to do, so you should be okay, but there's no reason why you can't unwind that and do it all over again, because this wire will be fine. It's so thin that it won't really lose its shape, but if it does, you can just kind of straighten it out with your hands. Then when we come back round here, I'm going to use what I've got left and keep wrapping. So I've left like a little bit of a gap here, and I'm going to keep wrapping. Please excuse my nails, they are literally full of black dye. It's part of being a crafter. And then keep wrapping, wrapping, wrapping. And I've wrapped it right to the very bit. You can cut a bit off if you want to, say if you've still got a bit left over, but that should be quite neatly done. So now it's very, very secure. Very good. Right, now we're going to get the next metre of wire. You'll have these already cut to size in your kit, and I'll have wound them into like little loops for you, so you'll have two separate ones and they will both already be at a metre if you do purchase the kit. So then I've kind of wound that up so it's nice and neat, but it will tangle because that's what happens. Now what I'm going to do is the same thing again. I'm going to wind next to where I've wound here. I'm going to wind next to it, so I'm going to start winding right next to where I've tied them together. Let's push that down. If you do have like jewellery making tools, they will help you a lot, but you don't need them. Because then what you can do is you can use like your pliers or something, and it's easy to get like the ends down. But there's no reason why you can't use your scissors, because this isn't too complicated. You can actually use your scissors just to do that. So I'm going to wind round about, probably done it about 7 times there. And then now, I guess I'm going to have to unwind all this anyway because I'm going to put the beads on. So, unwind all your wire. And I'm going to start adding my beads. So I'm just literally add the beads. One gold there, one clear, and then I've gone with this lovely blue crystal chip. And then another clear, and then a gold. So that's kind of how the pattern I'm going with. Added all my crystals and beads on there, and how I've done it is I've done a gold, a clear, a crystal chip and a clear, and I've done that 15 times, and then at the end I've added another gold. So you go, first you put, actually if I show you this way, first you put a gold, a clear, a chip and a clear, and then you do that 15 times, and then at the end do another gold there. And that is the pattern of the beads. So now you just need to feed it all through. If you've got any kinks in your wire or anything, it might be a bit harder, but you know, to get the actual beads through, but don't worry, you can straighten it out and it should work pretty fine. Just feeding it through the wire, because it's very long. As you can see there, look, I've got a little bit of a, like a turn. I'm just going to unravel that wire. There was a bit of a, sorry, not a turn, a loop. There was a loop in my wire, and I've just taken the loop out. It's really easy to work with this like really thin wire. Really good for like wrapping and doing like really detailed beading work like this, which is why I've used it for this tutorial. Yeah, as you can see, if your wire's already straight, you're probably going to have a much better time doing this bit. There we go. So all my beads are right next to it now. And then what I'm going to do with this excess wire is just, I find it easier to do this. You don't have to wind it up like this. I just find it easy to work like this. And then we're going to start winding. So when I'm first winding round, I'm only going to put one bead at the front, and then the rest of the beads I'm going to keep along the wire. I'll show you what I mean as I'm doing it. So we're going to do the same pattern as we did with the wire originally, but I'm going to kind of crisscross over these. So I'll just put one bead there. And then I'm going to go all the way around and then pass my wire through. And then just one bead left at the front. Can you see? And then go around again. And then each time you're wrapping around, you're just going to leave one bead, or now it's a crystal chip, and then go around. And this time I'm going to leave two, because as you can see the gap is getting slightly bigger, so there's more of a space to leave more beads, so I'm going to do two this time. And then wrap again. This time I'm going to leave three. Just as you're wrapping it, you can leave slightly more. I'm going to leave three again this time, I think. It just creates that really beautiful crystal suncatcher look. Now I'm going to leave four beads. Then we go around again. So all you're doing is wrapping and then leaving some beads on the front like this. Now this time I've left 5 beads. And 5 beads again. So on the biggest part I leave 5 beads, but no more than 5, because I do want to make sure I've got enough beads to go around the rest of my suncatcher shape. So now I'm doing less each time now, so I'm going back to 3. But I'm gonna leave like, I'll show you like exactly how many I've left for each part. If you are quite a technical person, I kind of like to just do things with and kind of guesswork it. But if you like to do it, you like to know exactly how many beads I've left for me with each wrap, you'll be able to do that because I'll show you at the end. I kind of just use my eye and just see like what I've got left. So now I'm going like to 1 bead again towards the end of wrapping it. And when you have no more beads left, just make sure I'm wrapping it tight enough. As you can see there, I've not wrapped it tight enough and there's a bit of a gap, and that's just going to look a bit not as nice. So just go back, unwind it, and then just pull it tight so then it's not, you're not getting gaps. So it's nice and tight. Right, so coming to the end now, very last gold bead, and then I've got a little bit of room here. You may have more, you may have less, and I'm going to use my wire to wrap. So it doesn't matter if you've got like more of a space, so you might have ended here, or you might have less of a space, as long as you've got a little bit of space to wrap so you can like secure this onto it. So I'm just wrapping. Best thing of doing DIY is they all look slightly different, which I think is nice. Don't all have to look exactly the same. Right, so now I'm going to cut the end of that off. I've done it right up to where we wrapped before, and then I'm going to bend that down. I can use my fingernails, or I can use my scissors, or if you've got tools like this, you can use these to wrap them down. But I know not everybody has jewellery things. So as you can see now, that's the back and that's the front. So just for people that want to know, I've done 1 bead, 1 bead, like this each time I've wrapped. 1, 1, 1, then to 2, then to 3, then to 3, then to 4, then to 4, then to 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, then to 3, then to 3, then to 2, then to 1, then to 1, then to 1, then to 1. Like that's how many, that's the amount of beads I've left on the front each time I've wrapped. But just use your judgment. It doesn't matter if you kind of like end early here, because you can just use the rest of your wire to wrap and then cut the rest off. But if you're unhappy with how it's looking after you've done it, there's no reason why you can't unwind it and start again. Take your time with it. I normally do things like this in front of the telly at night when I'm watching telly, because it just makes me relax. And then I can take my time with it. I'm just going to add this prism now to the centre here. So it's going to look like that. First I'm going to get one of my jump loops. Now these are double jump loops. And I'm going to open it up like this. And then I'm going to pass it through my prism. If you've got these tools, it's a lot easier to like kind of like feed it through and to open them up. If not, like me, I'm going to show you that I can do it just with my fingers. Then I'm going to get another jump loop and put it through that jump loop that we just did. It's kind of like this. Now I'm going to grab the base of my suncatcher, and I'm just going to kind of see where I want to put it, where it'll look central, if that makes sense. So if I put it here, so if I'm going to put my jump loop here in between these ones, I think that's going to look the nicest. So I'm going to do that now. But if I feel like that place isn't the nicest place. I can always take it off and do it again. So now we're going to put this jump loop around this hoop, the inner hoop, like that, and then just feed it through, loop it onto it, whatever terminology you want to use. And then that's quite central, so that's the perfect place to put mine. If you want to, it's best to do it like more hung up, when like holding it up like this, and then you can see kind of where it's going to go. When I've done that, I'm going to get another jump loop. I'm going to add it to one of my octagons. I always call them hexagons, but they are actually octagons. And I'm going to feed another jump loop through one of the holes here, like so. And then I'm going to add this to the bottom of my suncatcher. So kind of find the middle where you want it to lie. And then feed that through so the loop is onto your suncatcher. These jump loops are so much better than the other ones, they're just so much more secure, which is why I like to use them. So now you shall have something that looks like this. Then I'm going to get the rest of my octagons and I'm going to attach them all together. So I'm going to put my jump loop through one hole there, and then through the next one. Oh. Another jump loop through another hole. Then I'm going to get another jump loop and just attach it to the end. So you should have 4 there. You've got 1 already that you've attached here, and then you've got 4 there. And now I'm going to attach my love heart. So the love heart should have a little hole on the top, so attach the jump loop to that. And then get another jump loop and attach it to the bottom of your love heart. So it'll just go through the bottom of it there. So it just kind of dangles there. Then another jump loop and your icicle. And then pass your jump loop through that. And then this prism is going to attach to this jump loop that you just put through the bottom of the heart, and just feed that through. Ooh, don't drop it. And then now get another jump loop, pass it through the top of your octagon and through this hole of this octagon that you have attached to your suncatcher. And there you can start to see the shapes coming together. And get another jump loop, and again hold it at the top where you want, like, so you're gonna have to do this kind of like in front of your face, so you're gonna have to hold it up like this and find where it looks straight, so where you're gonna want to attach this to where it looks straight. So mine's here, so if I hold it up with my fingers like this, it's hard to show you on this camera, I can see that's where it needs to go, so then my tail of my suncatcher isn't like lopsided like that. So I'm going to attach my jump loop to the top, just as we did before. As you can see, that's attached. And that is fairly central at the bottom, so I quite like that one. And then I'm going to get my other chain, which I've not got with me, so I'll have to go and get it. So then we're going to get 50 centimetres of this chain. This will already be cut if it's in your kit. And another jump loop. Oh wait, no. We've got a jump loop already on the suncatcher here, so we're going to attach it to this jump loop. And then to the top there, attach another one. So you've done a jump loop to the top. So the good thing with this is you can have your suncatcher quite long, or you can have it quite short like this. Or if you wanted to do it like halfway, you can always attach your jump loop like to one of these, if you wanted it to be a little bit shorter but not fully. Or you wanted to put it around your curtains at the top. And then that will like kind of go around your curtain pole at the top. That's what I do quite a lot. And that is your finished suncatcher.